Right, lots still happening this morning on Late Night Late. We're looking forward to welcoming into the studio our guests, the Throbs, and also we're going to be very brave and travel into the Twilight Zone after the news headlines, which come to you from ITN. A brand new music show and the band The Heartthrobs still to come this morning on Late Night Late, plus lots more as well. But first of all, we're going into the future and even further beyond that in the Twilight Zone. Right, we have got a brand new music show on Late Night Late this morning. It's called Vivid and it's coming up soon. And in honour of that, we have as our guests here in the studio of Late Night Late one of the most exciting new bands. They said it's going to be colossal. They're called the Heartthrobs, and from the band we have Rose and Rachel, and sneakily hiding there in the back, looking dark and mysterious, is Mark. Now, when I spoke to your publicity people, they said, now the thing about this band is that they come from Reading.
Yes.
And I said, so what?
Yes, they say that.
And they said, well, this band are going to put Reading on the musical map like the Happy Mondays did for Manchester, and was it Fairground Attraction put Shrewsbury on the map or something?
Yeah.
What is wrong with Reading? Is there no music happening in Reading apart from you?
There's quite a lot wrong with Reading, yeah.
No, I think, I mean, for a long time Reading was a bit sort of known just as, you know, like a place for heavy rock bands, I think, and particularly independent music didn't flourish very well. But recently things are changing there, and also particularly with the new Reading people who organise the Reading Festival. The last 2 years, you know, there've been a lot of different bands. So
you're not the only band in Reading?
No, I think there's quite a few bands.
You're not a
coming up
lone
from Reading.
voice.
I mean, the Sundays come from quite near Reading, actually, not actually Reading.
Basingstoke, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Even worse than
Ride
Reading.
come from
Basingstoke.
Oxford, so you know, there's a sort of little cluster of.
So did you get your inspiration from Reading, or did you look outside for that?
In a strange way, yes. In a roundabout way, I'd say. I mean, the thing about Reading is that there hasn't been much happening in the way of nightlife for a while. So I suppose because there's a bit of a vacuum, it maybe makes you a bit more imaginative yourselves, you know.
Right.
If you live somewhere where there's a lot going on, there's a lot more distractions, but
True. If you live somewhere where there's a lot of bands, you just go to watch them. If you
Yeah.
live somewhere where there aren't any,
you
you
just
think, I
want
can
to
do
you
it.
know, you want to do something yourself.
I'll get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're currently on a tour of about 25 gigs, is it?
Yep.
In a month?
Yes.
And you're looking very healthy, considering. Now, you hear stories about bands on the road. Now, come on, what's it really like? From the horse's mouths, if you'll pardon the expression. Is it glamorous or is it hard work?
It's
Well,
hard
glamorous.
work.
Well, hang on, Mark says it's glamorous.
I reckon it's
Rachel says it's hard
Well, I've
work.
strained my back already,
Oh my
lifting
God.
heavy equipment, so...
Oh, well, I thought all the roadies did that and you just swanned around drinking
roadies?
champagne and things like that.
Not quite. No, we're not quite at that stage. We haven't got
No.
that colossal yet.
But you're
In the
getting
near
there.
future, yeah.
Now, which city or town so far have you had the most fun in then? You've done about 15?
Middlesbrough.
Middlesbrough?
We went out in Middlesbrough. didn't
Oh
we?
yeah, there's a
Little club in
happening
Middlesbrough.
club in Middlesbrough. I think Warwick was good, and what was that last place we played before Brighton? I'm asking Tim, who's sitting over there, who no
Yes,
one will
in
be able to
Copsey,
see.
What about Brighton
Coventry,
itself?
that
Is
was
Brighton
good.
fun?
Coventry.
Brighton was good. Canterbury. Canterbury was really good.
Oh yeah, happening place, Canterbury.
Yeah.
Now you finished the tour in Reading itself on June the 22nd, which will be a big finale, I'm told. Friends and family getting on down and grooving to the
Yeah.
music, man.
Yeah. Something
Now,
like
let's
that.
talk about the single. It's the second single with your current record company. It's called Dreamtime. Now, once again, we hear how hard it is to be a band and to get a record deal. What was your story? Was it hard work to actually get a deal in the first place?
Well, we started off a few years ago, and we released like several independent releases on different small record labels, all the time trying to get, you know, a record company who were committed to us that we wanted to join. And I suppose it did take us a while to get that. I mean, it depends, you see. It depends, I think, who you are and the route you want to go. We were quite keen to, you know, retain our independence. And when the sort of blonde wave of pop was happening, which was when we first sort of started, we were a little outside of that. So we didn't kind of get swept up with maybe the other bands like Primitives and the Darling Buds,
Right.
which I think I'd like to
Not a
think
bad thing,
has
really,
been
is it?
quite in our favour. It's helped us develop, you know,
To
maybe
emerge
a
afterwards.
little of our own kind of strand of music, different, you know, in a different way.
Okay.
And One Little Indian came along last summer, and Electro, so there was someone from Electro who was very interested in us as well, and because the Sugar Cubes, who, you know, probably the biggest band on One Little Indian, they're signed to Electro in the States, so that sort of combination was quite good.
Okay, well I think it's time we had a look and a listen to the music that you do. This is the new single, second single from the Throbs, and it's called Dreamtime.
Whole world shuts down. Close your eyes, stay calm. It's dream time. It's dream time. Deep sleep slides round. Close your mouth, stay blind. It's dream time. It's dream time. And we're so tired of everything, of snowflakes on our lashes and all our favorite things. Nightmares of their end, and who can say if they'll be friends in dream time, in dream time. And we're so tired of everything, of snowflakes on our lashes and all our favorite things. And we're so tired of everything, of teardrops on red roses, escaping dreams of sin.
So there we go, Dreamtime from the Throbs, who, Sounds Magazine said, were one of the names to look out for in 1990. And thank you for being our guest this morning. Just before we go, Rose, you're looking forward to this. Now, it was said in a magazine that sometimes Rose looks a bit like Sally from Coronation Street. Do you like that or not?
I think it's great, yeah.
You obviously modelled yourself on her.
I am 100 times sexier now because I have modelled myself on Sally Webster.
Well, indeed.
So that is my tip for all you girls out there.
Look like Sally Webster.
Get Sally Webster-ish.
Well, Rachel and Rose and Mark, the Throbs, thanks for coming in. We have got the brand new music show Vivid coming up after the break.